Hello everyone, Jen, good morning, good evening to people who are in US right now. Aryan, I know you're in US, so good evening to your friends and your folks over there. We are extremely honored, privileged, and feel really special because I have somebody who I had seen when I was in college on television. And you're in a very impressionable age. So you see somebody on television and you see them giving the introduction. I still remember that introduction crystal clear in my mind. I was dropped into this world 24 years ago. I am Aryan Vaid and this, that, and I said, he is the winner. He is the winner. We all had a bet. I said, anyone wants to bet on me? So nobody over there wanted to bet on me because they said, we are in agreement with what you are saying. And yes, rightly so. He was crowned the Gresham Mr. India. I'll not say crown, I'll say he won the title, and thereafter he was Mr. International. That is like the best man in the world, actually. So he'll tell the girls that get me the best man in the world. The image that comes in your mind is Aryan Vaid. Thereafter, in fact, he is a chef. He is done his hotel management, and he is a very fine actor with a very fine voice. You would be waiting to hear his voice. That's a different thing, and a very easygoing, a very chilled out, a very relaxed person. He is a supermodel, a mega model, and a brilliant actor, and moreover, an amazing human being. Ladies and gentlemen, I had the honor and privilege of meeting Aryan a few years ago at an award function, a television award function in Mumbai at the Bikaji Kava at the BKC. And I can tell you one thing: what you hear right now, you will be truly inspired. So let's welcome. There's a lot more to the introduction, of course, which you all know, which you do all we need not, because you already know it. You already know Aryan Vaid, and you have seen him in several movies on television. But let's hear his journey, his own way of making a mark for himself, straight from Aryan's mouth. Aryan, thank you very much, and really a privilege to have you here with us.
Well, firstly, thank you so much, Major Saab. I mean, it was a wonderful introduction, and was my privilege as well being here. And honestly, I really mean that. It was truly wonderful, and especially for you to remember something that happened 22 years back. That is really something that makes me happy. Oh, my journey has been, it's been pretty straightforward in the sense that it started off actually with TV, with Campus, the television show, whilst I was still in college. And then I started doing the modeling. Then I got into the Mr. India. Then, after that, the Mr. International, that Mr. World contest. And then I was modeling in Europe for a good 2.5 years. Then I came back to India to get into Bollywood. And, well, I was in Europe for a total of about 3 years, actually. And then came back in 2003 to start off because I was getting a lot of offers in Bollywood at that point. In, well, let's call it the Hindi film industry now. It just seems to be getting so much flack for calling it Bollywood. But so yeah, so I was happy to kind of come back and try my luck in the movies. Some did well, some didn't do well, but it's been a long journey. The only thing that really kept me going for over all these years is the fact that I was honestly always busy, and that was something that made me very happy, made me very excited, and even till the last day that I moved here. Uh, I kind of finally made the move on the 10th of June 2018, and I was filming till the 9th of June 2018. That's how that's how the journey was, and if I'd stayed there, probably would have continued working. For my own reasons, I wanted to explore living in America, which I did. I'm very happy to be here, but I was very happy also with my time over there.
Superb, Aryan. Aryan, tell me one thing. When you went for Gresham Mr. India, I mean, this is for people who aspire to be like you and who aspire to be Mr. India one day or win a contest like that. So, did you actually, while you were filling up your entry form, did you actually visualize it that you would win Mr. India? Or you thought, let me just try my luck and see nothing to lose? Let me just see how it goes.
No, it's a very interesting story. Actually, I did not even want to enter because honestly, I didn't have the faith and belief in myself that I was going to win it because I was doing TV, but I was like, because at that point, you had John Abraham, you had Dino Moria, and then you already had Milind Soman, Arjun Rampal, and then you would like, like, how am I going to make it, amongst these guys, right? Um, and so I remember I was in the gym. I used to go to a very small gym in the neighborhood. It was like a gym where all the fishermen would work out. I lived in Juhu Kolivara, so there was a lot of fishermen over there, and it was a gym where they would work out. There was no electricity. It was 20 rupees a month or 10 rupees a month, that I paid over there. But it was a good gym. And I remember one guy, and I've never met him again, and that is so strange. He used to come to the gym, but I never really spoke to him. And he came up to me and he said, "Why don't you apply for the Glad Rags?" And I was like, "No." And he was like, "No, you should." And I was like, "Okay." So next day, I had some pictures. I took them to the Glad Rags office, to Maureen, and I was like, and I didn't even know if they were taking application because the date was long gone. And when I went in and I gave my pictures, they opened the pictures, they looked at it, and they said, and those weren't professional pictures. So they said, "Can you just wait?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "Why?" I said, "Just wait." So I kind of waited, and then they came in and they said, "Maureen Wadi, I would like to meet you." And I was like, "Really?" I said, "I just came to drop my picture." So anyway, so I go in and she meets me and she goes, "Well, I'm confirming you for the pageant, for the Glad Rags pageant, but I want you to, anytime you're leaving town, whatever you're doing, just keep us posted." I was like, "Okay, great." Um, but then this was, I think, some point in November or December or something, and the contest I think was supposed to be, I don't remember the dates. I could be, in February if I'm not mistaken. And I was like, "Well, okay." And then the Grassam Mr. India form, was also coming along, and I was like, "Well," because Maureen didn't get me to sign a contract or anything. So I was like, "Well, I don't know if they're gonna call me," like. So like, let me also apply for the Mr. India, and I applied for that, and and of course it was a very long process because you first go through the regional rounds, and then you get to the main contest, which is 26 people chosen from all across the country, 26 boys. But I remember going for my audition, and there must have been like 200 or 300 guys just from Mumbai, and I was like, "Oh boy." But I think what helped me was that I always worked on developing my confidence, in the sense that I really think every battle in this world is just fought in our head, because everything that transpires in the real world first has to transpire first has to happen in our brains. And I'm a very firm believer in that. So when you use the word visualize, um, well, whatever is your process, everyone has a different process. I have a different process. I, I don't believe in affirmations. I believe in backing my affirmations with a belief, not just blind affirmations, right? So I want to work on the process of developing, you know, my belief, because when it comes from understanding of, why I believe I can win, there's a much solid conviction, as opposed to just going like, "Oh, I should think positive, I'm going to win." So it doesn't work like that.
Right. So because you believed in it, also it happened, and a lot of youth today, like I was very affected by that
Mhm.
time, and in fact, they led me on. I contested for Mr. Pune. I won Mr. Pune Talent, and
Oh
thereafter,
wow.
I was to go for Glad Rags, but then I also joined the army. In fact, and also I want to ask you the name that you took, John Abraham, Dino Moria, Milind Soman, Arjun Rampal. How does it feel when your name is also among the people you looked up to at that time? You found them to be mega models. Now people would add Aryan Vaid in in the same breath as
Well,
well. So how does it feel to be included now in the same breath as to the name that you saw? Okay, that time these were the top guns.
it feels good, because I feel like modeling wasn't something I planned to do. Honestly, it was more of a one-off thing that kind of happened because I wanted it to happen, but Not initially. Initially, it was all about acting. And I had a friend who was doing really well as a model. And I remember asking him, I'm like, hey, do you think I can model? And he goes, no, I don't think you can because you've got all these bow legs. And I was like, what is a bow leg? I didn't even know what that was. And he was like, well, I don't think you have what it takes to be a fashion model. And I'm like, really? I said, I have to try this because, and it was like, okay, if you think I can't do it, then I should try to do it. Because then I thought to myself, I said, anyone can act. You can look anyhow and you can still act. Anyone can do a music video. I mean, you have to have a certain look. I say very few people on this planet can be fashion models, like ramp models, right? And I said that is something that very, very few people can actually make it because you need to be just, almost a perfect clothes horse. So I was like, well, that's something I want to work towards, because I was so young. Who would not enjoy wearing the best clothes you can, being up on stage with this amazing music, this amazing presentation to the way you come out on stage, and all the smoke machines and all the lights, it's like creating a whole illusion. And it was wonderful, at that point. It catered to my vanity, and it made me happy at that point to do it, honestly, and I'm happy I did it. Now when I look back, I'm like, wow, in a lot of ways, I go like, wow, I mean, I'm glad I did it, when I did it, but I also think it's tremendously hard to make it as a model or to make it as an actor. It's the odds are so little. And now when I look back, I go like, wow, like I was lucky. God was kind. He blessed me with the right attitude, with a decent amount, with I would say reasonably decent looks, and it just everything fell into place. So God was really kind.
Right. Our class girls at that time in college, they used to be like, okay, you're contesting for Mr. Pune, you're going for glad rags. Oh, like you want to win like Aryan Vaid. So you had become a brand, like the way Maggie, 2 minutes noodles. It's like any noodle is Maggie. Any shoe polish is cherry shoe polish. Toothpaste is Colgate. It can be close up anything, but no, you have to Colgate. Similarly, modeling was a benchmark. The supermodel, the name for a mega model was Aryan Vaid. Oh, so you want to be Aryan Vaid, huh? So it was like
Really?
that. Yeah,
I,
yeah,
I
yeah.
I had
Of
no
course,
idea.
of
Well,
course,
I'm
of course.
well, I'm glad. But I would see the thing was, as soon as I won, I wasn't in India to kind of. I knew that because I was doing interviews in India, but I wasn't living in India to kind of uh, sense what is happening back home because I was already living in London and I was already kind of working over there. So from back home, I'd hear stuff like, oh, like I would get featured in a newspaper. There was an interview of mine. I would hear positive things, but I honestly that is one of the I didn't get to experience it firsthand. Not as much as I would have possibly enjoyed. You know?
I think your predecessor here before you was, I think, Abhijit Sanyal who had won it before you. The Grassy Mr. India, would you remember? No.
Yes, yes, yes. Abhijit had won it. Yes.
Abhijit had come as a jury, in fact, for Mr. Pune. In fact, he had judged me for the Mr. Pune talent. He and Corey Walia, they were the
Oh
judges from.
wow. Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
was, and Aryan, so tell me, we had heard about Aishwarya Rai, Sushmita Sen becoming Miss You are world. You're the first, in fact, males who actually won an international competition, not just runner up. You were crowned Mr. International. It's a huge thing. It's a pride for India. In fact, if you see it that way, if you see, we have gold medalists, we have Olympic gold medalists. Yes, we have people who have brought laurels to the country. You have brought laurels to the country in your own way. So, how did it feel being crowned the Mr. India the contestant when you were there, the Mr. India, the Mr.
Well,
International?
I think well, it was a good thing, and I mean the good part was men's pageants don't have the same amount of pressure. They don't have the same amount of exposure. So, and the men really are more chilled out. So at the contest, we felt like we were we were on a little holiday, you know what I mean? Because the guys were all chilling out, working out, eating their lunches together. It wasn't really very competitive. From what I hear, the women's competitions are very, very serious, and and so well, I was really happy I won it. Um, but like I said, I realized that I had done something big for the country, and I was very happy. But subsequently, it didn't get the kind of press coverage that, say, a Miss Universe or a Miss World contest gets, which I kind of partly expected, you know. But at the same time, I'm glad I was able to, to do well. Ideally I would have loved to be a sportsman, but that didn't happen. So I'm glad I was able to bring some glory to India in whatever way I could, in whatever way I could contribute.
Right. Aryan, you have the prerequisites of a star, of a good actor and a star both combined. Like you have a good voice, you are good looking, you have a good personality, you conduct and carry yourself very well. You are extremely polite. In fact, you told me that no, but it's good you haven't seen me losing my cool on the phone. I said no, that, and I hope I don't ever see that. But I for any youth to connect or to identify with you would say, Aryan, no, he's a very cool guy, man. I would like to be like Aryan Vaid. So tell me about that. Did you take training as an actor anywhere? I know you've done a lot of theater, I know that. But did
Yeah.
you enroll yourself in any formal school to learn the craft as such? Be it
No,
as,
I mean, no, I really tried to get into NST a few times, but
oh,
that
that is
didn't
similar to
happen.
me. That's
Yeah,
similar
yeah.
to me.
I know you told me
Yeah.
about that. Yeah. I tried for a couple of years. I had letters from Nadir Babarji, but it wasn't happening. And I was like, so it's kind of strange because they wanted me to have at least 10 plays before I got
Right.
into NSD, right? And at that point, most of the theater groups you went to, you were gonna wait for 2 years even before they gave you one line on stage, right? 2 or 3 years, whatever, right? So I started doing platform shows, which was doing shows outside Prithvi during the breaks, right? Between two shows, like let's say you'd go to watch a play at Prithvi at say 6 o'clock and your show got over at 8:30. Between 8:30 and 9, you'd have 30 minutes. So we'd do a show then, right? Right outside Prithvi. It was called Platform Theater.
Right.
And then we started doing shows at Churchgate Station. But they were really good shows, and it was just you just started performing in the middle of the street, right? And so that was good. It was a real learning experience because you knew that if you weren't giving all your energy, people were going to leave. No one was paying to be over there, and they were just curious, so they would stop by, watch what you were doing, and if they didn't like what you were doing, they were going to move, right? It was going to be like literally 30 seconds a minute, and they were gone. So that was good that I was able to do that. So I did a lot of platform shows with another friend of mine, Sanjeev. He was at that point Sanjeev Kumar, but now he's called Sanjeev Rajat. And Sanjeev
Right.
was very close to Makaran Deshpande, Makaran Deshpande's theater group, and that's how I started working with them. Later.
All
So.
right.
Mhm. Yeah, so at that point I did theater, and I'd already done TV because even before I got formally into acting, Campus was a huge television serial, and that really changed my life, so to speak, because I remember I was in college, and Campus was this show that was about college kids, and I got I was one of the main leads, and I remember the episode aired on Monday night at 9 p.m. and I went to sleep. I watched it and I was like, yeah, that's cool. I'm on TV. I was on ZTV and I watched it. Like, fine. And the next day I was standing at the bus stop because I was in catering college. I went to chef school and I was standing at the bus stop and I noticed some attention. I was like, well, maybe they watched the episode. But then I remember getting into the BST bus, and then it was waiting at a light. And I think Saint Teresa School, so the girls' school, so their bus came and stood next to our bus, their school bus. And I looked out, I was just looking out, and all these girls suddenly they were like, hey, that's the guy from the TV show. And I remember my name was Sunny. I was like, that's Sunny. And I'm like, wow, I was barely in there for like 10 minutes last night. I was like, wow, that was quick recognition. So that show really kind of helped me a lot, and I worked with Sanjeev Bhattacharya, who's one of the finest directors on television. He did a lot of super hit shows. He's responsible for introducing Paresh Rawal and a lot of big people at that point, on TV. And so I was very lucky because I got to work with him on my first TV show. He saw some talent because that was a very difficult show to get because there were auditions with over like, I don't even know, like 3,000 guys and only two guys were going to get in. So I guess he saw something which, and I had no idea on how to act. So,
You've done theatre with Ansh, with Makaran Deshpande, with the ex-youth, with Nadaraji, and the best of people who people would want to actually come with.
but no,
So I
I never worked with Nadaraji. I just got the letter from her stating that she was recommending me, but I never worked with her. No.
okay, all right,
And
and
with Makran, I worked in his movie Dana, where I was playing the monster with Sonali Kulkarni and Sayaj Shinde. I
right,
didn't do any plays with Makran.
okay, all right, all right. So how many attempts did you make for NSD? I tried twice, 2001 and 2002. Both the time that was unsuccessful. But Manoj Bajpayee tried three times for NSD. He didn't make it. He's such a fine actor.
Yeah. Oh, he's not from. I thought he is from NSD.
No, no. He tried three times. He couldn't make it, and so they are great actors. In fact, who tried first attempt they couldn't make it. Second attempt, third attempt, then they made it thereafter. So I tried twice, but both the time that was unsuccessful, and
No,
I
I
thank
tried.
God for that.
I tried only once, to tell you the truth. And by then, I started doing platform theater, and I started writing my own plays, and I was like, it was easier for me to do something for myself as opposed to like waiting, for either NSD to see some talent in me or to have a theater group. I tried, right? I would go for Makran's rehearsals. And at that point, Faisal Khan and, like Amir Khan's brother and all already doing theater. And I was like, okay. And even for Makran to, like, at that point, even for theater, for Makran to just turn around and be like, okay, I'm gonna give you two lines in this show. It was gonna take forever. I knew that I would first have to do the backstage, do the clean, which I was okay with. I would have done all that, but I was like, this is not gonna further my career for a while now. I'm just gonna get stuck. So I decided to do platform shows, and I'm glad I was able to kind of get the help at that point, and and go from there.
Right. In fact, I was in a similar conversation with Faisal Khan a few days back, just the way we are having right now on my YouTube channel. And Faisal was remembering his days with Makran and the time he was doing theater and such
Oh,
things.
my mom, sorry, my mom is here. She says, "Wow." Hi,
Hello,
mom.
ma'am.
Hi, mama.
Hello, ma'am. Hello, ma'am. Good to see you. In fact, there were a lot of comments. I deliberately highlighted this comment for you. In fact, Aryan, I knew it was
Oh,
your
okay.
mother.
Okay.
I said, let me bring it up to you. Ma'am, you must be a very, very proud mother to have a son like Aryan. And I'm sure.
I hope so.
and,
Trust me, I haven't been an ideal son in a lot of ways, so I'm glad.
and this is a kind of a son every mother would dream that my son should make us proud. Naam roshan karega, and there you are. So, ma'am, great. Thank you for being here. And Aryan, tell us about your journey thereafter. You moved to US, and so we were very intrigued, very very inquisitive to know that you had a very flying career. In fact, in India, in fact, but you moved to US. And when you moved to US, did you already have something going for you in US, or you went there and then settled down over there? How?
No, I think that's the thing, right? I think because I have an innate confidence in my abilities that things will fall into place, or else I'll make them fall into place. I don't make plans, which is a horrible way to live, but that's how I've always lived. Uh, in fact, making plans does not work for me. But you know, but kind of adjusting and overcoming a situation, that's what has always worked for me, right? I didn't plan to be an actor. I didn't plan to be a model. I didn't plan to be in showbiz. I planned to be a chef, and I planned to, you know, go into hotel management, get a job, and well, that didn't go to plan. I didn't. It's just, I mean, so when I moved to the US, I there were multiple reasons, but I didn't have anything here in terms of a career. No, everything that I knew, everything that I worked for, every bit of success that I'd had was only in India, right? So I didn't have that here. Um, but the but again, I love India. But at that point, I was getting to a point where I was like, I want to go explore, live in another place. I want to, just explore living in the US because right from the time I was a child, I was like, yeah, at some point I want to live in the US. Some point I want to live in the US. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to move. I had my green card for almost 6 years before I finally decided to move here. So I was like, I was traveling like every 3 or 4 months to the US. So I was like, well, I'm just gonna go live there. I already I'd bought a place here. Then I bought, so I already had a place here. I had a small infrastructure. I had a car here. So I was like, I already have the infrastructure to kind of move there and then see how it goes. And by then I'd made certain investments in India, which allowed me to kind of not work for a while, whilst I explored other avenues.
Right, Aryan. Aryan, you are a true inspiration for the generation, for younger generation, in fact. And I reckon that it's very late in the US right now, and it's almost 11:30 now, I believe. And I saw you the subtle yawn as well, so I will not take much of your time.
No, no,
But
no,
before
no, no, that's fine. I think that's involuntary.
Right, right. But before we part with you and before we let you go, Aryan, I would like to you, if you want to give any specific message to the youth of today who are getting into depression, who feel that they would not be able to achieve this, who plan a lot and things don't work out as per the plan.
Well, I think, I mean, I think the youth of today is far smarter and far more evolved than what we were during our time. They have a lot of exposure to a lot of things thanks to technology and social media and everything. So I would not like to give them any advice on the basis of my experience with life. Um, I'd like to tell them and to myself as a reminder, just don't give up. Uh, just honestly work with the tools of honesty, um, and build. Like I said, every battle has to be won in the mind first before it translates into any real victory outside, right? A lot of my life has been about good luck or about being at the right place at the right time. I think that has happened because in my head I was ready to receive those miracles. I was ready to receive, the so like I said, nothing in my life was planned. Things
Mhm.
just kept on happening. So I would just like to tell the youth, work on good, honest convictions, and just work on making. I mean, I'd be the last person to give this advice because I'm not living in India anymore. Or make India a better place, because India truly is a wonderful country, and I wish to come back someday. I mean, I probably will come back, go back and forth, but it's just that I feel like there's so much potential that India has, so especially our youth, and I hope that that they can lead India into a new direction and uh, turn it into a wonderful, blessed country.
So nice, very nice to hear that, and those pearls of wisdom from you, Arun. And lastly, there's another friend of ours. We have a common friend called Kavita Verma. She had acted in
Yeah,
your
yeah,
film Manoranjan, in fact. And
yeah, yeah,
Kavita is
yeah.
from NSD. She's from NSD. In fact, in the year 2001, Kavita and though she was a student enrolled, Randeep Hooda, Shahid Kapoor, and myself, we were three externals who were not enrolled at NSD. But Nasir Saab used to go to NSD every year to do a workshop in the final years. And
Yeah.
so Sandeep, Shahid, and I had gone and attended that workshop. So my exercise with Kavita especially had worked really very well. It was an outstanding exercise because all thanks to the energy that Kavita gave to the exercise, in fact. the Randeep and Shahid came. But here I am speaking to you, Aryan, and thank you very much. You've been extremely kind, gracious of giving your time, even though it's so late at night, and you didn't down my request, and you were so easygoing. You said, dude, it's okay, I just laga do aap. कोई बात नहीं, हम. So I was like overwhelmed. Yeah, what an easygoing guy. I told you that. Thanks, Aryan. I'm really grateful to
Well,
you.
I think a lot of the celebrityhood that we face in India, it goes away when you're living in America. You're cleaning your bathrooms, you're cleaning your cars, you're making your own food. So you don't have a boy here, so a lot of the celebrities. So I feel absolutely non-celebrity like, whatever that means. I feel absolutely, uh, you know, part of the crowd. And if somebody would like to talk to me, well, doesn't need to, but if somebody would like to talk to me, I'm open, and I'm accessible. So, but it was wonderful talking to you as well, and I thank you for your service to the country. Honestly, well, thank you for that. And you're also a man who's achieved so much, because you're in the Guinness Book of World Records, which I think you haven't told, or maybe your audience knows, but and you're someone who I aspire to be now,
Oh,
because
come on.
no, I'm serious, to give TEDx talks and to have given the most number of talks in the world. That is commendable. So, hats off to you. And like I said, thank you for your service to the country. Thank you to your family. You come from a family of people who've been in the army. So please give them my regards, and please thank them for, on my behalf. And I do hope we keep in touch,
Absolutely,
and
brother. Absolutely.
all right.
Great.
All right.
Thank you very much, Aryan. Thank you very much. Have a
Well, it was
great
my
time,
pleasure.
and my regards to your family and everyone, all your friends in the US. Take care.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you. You have a good one, buddy. Thank you so much. All right. Bye.
Thank you. Bye, Aryan. Take care. तो सुना आपने दोस्तों, you now then, former Mr. India, former Mr. International, Aryan. So go ahead and spread the word that we have the gem of India sitting in US right now. But yes, he's accessible, he's reachable, a very fine, a thorough gentleman. Take care. I will bring some other special guests very soon. Keep watching, keep being hooked on, and keep telling people about it. Take care. Cheers.